Once again, the anthem has played. The bets have been made. Now it's time to get paid. Welcome back. Week 12, college football, right here on the Tailgate, Pub Sports Radio. I'm going to take a second and say good morning and thank you for tuning in here. The season's been rolling by, going quick. I mean, we're already week 12. I say it every week. I feel like when it starting at week 8, I was like, oh, it's going by. But now we're starting to see, the fruit of the loom, so to speak, of the season, right? The Heisman picture, it's starting to take shape. The playoff picture, we're starting to get an idea of what that's going to look like. It's the best time of year to be a gambler, to be somebody who bets on sports. You got college basketball rocking, NBA, NFL, everything's going. And right now, I just want to say one more time, thank you guys for choosing us here at Pub Sports Radio and the Tailgate to tune in. I mean, it's been a blast this year. We've been getting paid, but there's no time to talk about that. There's only time to talk about what we got to do today. But before I do that, I want to say shout out to you guys rolling in the chat. Take 1 second to hit that like button as you get here. Make sure that you are subscribed to Pub Sports Radio and share this video. Get it out there. Go to X, retweet it, post it. Get everybody in here because we got money to make today. Kelly, good to see you, man. I know you're sparked up early. Something good, too. I'm assuming it's something real good. Red Girl, good to see you in here. Good morning to you. Justin, shout out to the Stacks. He will be back today after going 2-0 last week. He brought you one college basketball play and one college football play. Both of them cashed easily. Stacks 2-0. And he'll be right back here again today to bring you Stacks again. So shout out to Justin. Brad, good to see you in there. Tori Coker, Jesse, NJ Stryker, everybody that's rolling in. Like I said, hit the like, share, subscribe, and let's get paid. Let's get rolling. Let me get my guys up here. Starting with this dude who's been killing it. Every week he comes on here and does analysis in a deep dive way that most people aren't doing. And he gives it to you for free. All you got to do is give him your email. Tell him, hey, I want that. I want that analysis that you do every week that you put hours of work into, and you get it, his drive. And like I said, he's been killing it. So let me get him up here with us. My dude, Moose Money Bets.
What's going on, Cabby? Hey, last week was not a really good week for the Moose and the Moose Dive, but I took a step back, did some analysis, and I realized there's some things I got to do to go a little deeper, and so that's what I did. I went straight up Peter North style and got a little deeper into what I needed to do, and so hopefully this week I'm able to give even just a little bit more analysis. But more than anything, happy to be here. Love talking college ball, and I love all the people that are out here able to give us the opportunity to do this.
This is going to sound ironic, right? But after a really big week or a really bad week, either way, as somebody who's gambled for a long time, and I know everybody that comes on panel can agree with this, and you guys in the chat can agree with this, it only matters what you do this week now. It only matters how you respond, right? Win or lose, and that's everything, whether you're talking about being an athlete or being a gambler or whatever, right? It's how you respond, and I know your response is going to be strong today. So that's all that matters. We're going to get paid today, right? Glad you acknowledged it. But that's on. We're going to move on and get through it, work through it, man. Shout out to everybody still rolling in. I want to hit everybody. Thomas, good to see you in there. Ron Lofton, there's my guy. Ron and I align a lot. Hopefully we got some of the same action today, Ron. I will go over it. Nunya, Mr. Green Thumb, good to see you in the chat too, man. Everybody who's out there listening, maybe not in the chat, think about getting in the chat because we want to see what you're betting today. We want to know what you're thinking, whether you agree, don't agree. It doesn't matter. We're trying to get paid, trying to learn, trying to get better, like Moose just said, because that's what it's all about. And speaking of getting better, it doesn't get better than this guy that I'm going to bring on right now. He's here every week to start the show with us. Been killing it, betting with the bag, been killing it on Who Banging. My guy, Wine Time Sports. What up, Wine Time?
What up, boys? What up, Moose? What up, Cab? My two guys right here. Stoked to talk some college football with you guys and guns coming up here shortly, man. Blessed to be here as always, man. Shout out to the chat, man. My guy Justin, as always. Tone Miggins. We got Thomas, Nunya, my guy. NJ Stryker was in here early. Shout out to you guys, man. Billy Friedrich, right there, my guy. But yeah, man, we took a little L on the chin yesterday, but sometimes we do that. And we're back here on a Saturday, man. I'm excited to get right to it with you guys.
Hell yeah. Nasty Nate rolling in, Mike rolling in. Yeah, it was a big week last week. And like I just told Moose, now it's time to respond today. I know we were frustrated with our prop last night. It is what it is. In college football, if you get sacked, the yards go against it. Obviously, without those 2 sacks in the second half, Chris cashes his prop for us. But He didn't cash it. We move on. We go today and we get the money today, right? That's what it is. Shout out Tones, man. He dropped a Colorado first half team total over 14 and a half. And then he said it's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, for those who don't know Tone, he is Levels, because you probably know Levels. I feel like you know the Levels play of the day. That's been a thing since I've been around pub sports radio, as far as I know. So shout out to our guy Levels play of the day, Mr.
Get
Tone.
that cake.
Yeah, good to see you in here. But let's do this shit right, man. And last week he came on and kicked ass like he does pretty much every week. I should have his overall record. I'll put it together. I will, because it's a thing of beauty on this show. I know that for a fact. And I don't think there needs any more of an entrance other than that, because if you've been tuned in, you know you've been getting paid. So go ahead, share the video, let everybody know we're already jumping into best bets. We're not even 7 minutes in, and it's time to get our guy Guns Picks, who's been absolutely dominating the board. What up, Guns?
Yeah, have no fear. The Kenny Lofton of this podcast is here. And I dropped I gave you 4 plays last week. We went 3-1 because ULM stinks and couldn't get us the cover there. But I digress. I've been killing it on this show. I've been dominating the board, and this is where we unload the clip. It's college football. We got the data. We're ready to go, and we know who these teams are. And I got 4 plays for you. Let's do it right now.
Beautiful, man. I think I know where we're starting here, since you dropped it in the chat for me this time. Guns is like, I'm tired of Cab not knowing where the game is. But guess what? I still don't know where it is. I got to find it really quick. 1 second. I am excited to talk about this. I think this is a great, you got a great football mind as somebody to bring this game to us first today. So shout out to Guns for that. Coastal Carolina traveling to take on Marshall. And I think I'll let Guns touch on what's going on today, because I didn't know. I had my head up my ass, so he surprised me with it. But I'll let you take it away, Guns.
What are you talking about? This is the game of the week. I mean, we're talking about a little fun belt here with Coastal Carolina and Marshall, John C. Edwards Stadium in Huntington, West Virginia. 1 p.m. is the kick. And you have a 5-4 team with Coastal Carolina going up against a 6-3 team with Marshall. But Marshall's on fire right now, 1-5 out of their last 6 games. What does Marshall like to do? They want to pound the rock. They want to run the football. They average 5.5 yards per carry. That's 10th in the country. 214.5 rushing yards per game. That's 12th in the country. And they're going against a Coastal Carolina defense that is one of the worst in the country. 106 in opposing yards per carry, 5 yards per carry given up to opponents. 119th in the country in opposing rush yards per game. They're giving up 211.6 rushing yards per game to opponents. And then Marshall has done well versus conference opponents this season. They're 5-1 straight up, 3-2 ATS. They have a plus 14 point differential, plus 36 net yard average. And what is Coastal Carolina sucked at? Conference. They're 2-3 straight up and ATS, and they have a minus 6 point differential, minus 105 net yard average. And Marshall has just looked better than Coastal Carolina in the last 4 games. You have a Coastal Carolina that is a falling knife. They have a minus 11 point differential, minus 144 net yard average, and they're going against a Marshall team that is just cooking right now with a plus 13 point differential, plus 72 net yard average in their last 4 games. And you got the revenge factor with Marshall, 2x revenge to be exact. They lost to Coastal Carolina 34-6, and they were 3-point road favorites in that situation. And now they are sitting here as an 8.5 point favorite. This is a blowout for Marshall. And don't forget, this is the anniversary game for the 75. If you don't know what the 75 is, there was a plane crash in 1970. Go look it up for Marshall. This is a big game. Motivation on high here. We are Marshall. Give it to me at minus 8.5 as the play.
Oh, I feel like such an ass when he brought that up backstage, guys. He was like, the plane crash. I was like, what plane crash? I mean, I've seen the movie. I was like, well, it must not have been that good of a movie, because I mean, I didn't remember it, but I do remember it. I know
the coach was Matthew McConaughey. All right.
All right. Anyways,
let's go.
We rolled through this. Wine time. Any thoughts? I know you guys kind of touched on this backstage and didn't have much, but I'll still pass it to you guys.
Marshall's been playing some really good football. Especially they've been playing good football at home as well. And I mean, Guns already touched on it. You kind of sold me on the Marshall anniversary right here. I mean, these players are going to get up for this. He mentioned they had a ceremony earlier this week on the actual day it happened. I mean, if you on campus, they have a whole memorial set up for it with all the names that passed away, and they do like a light up ceremony. It's really cool. One of these days, I told them one of these days I want to get down there. If I ever go to West Virginia, I guess it's going to be to that or a West Virginia game. So with that being said, I definitely agree with him. I might get to the window on this before this game kicks off. It's a 10 a.m. start here on the West Coast. So we'll see. I might move on this just on that alone.
Definitely let us know if you do. Moose, anything on this one?
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now. I really like what Guns is bringing to the table on this one. Marshall, absolutely a running team. And if you look at Coastal Carolina, EPA against the rush, 112th in the nation. That's not good. And the success rate against the run, 117th. That's even worse. So I think Marshall is absolutely the side. 8.5 is a little bit much, but you're basically saying they're going to win by 10. And I kind of see it. So I wrote it down. I'm probably going to take a look at it quickly after this show ends to see if I can bet it, or maybe even as the show's going on. But I think Marshall is absolutely the side. I really like it. And again, Guns coming out with one of those plays that just makes you go, I really like that. I think I'm going to have to jump on that.
Man, shout out to the chat. Our guy, Stephen Harrison in the chat, he said, "We are Marshall." He said, "Oh, yeah, I'm from Logan, West Virginia. Big game." Good to see you in here, man. Jose Alvarado, good to have you in here. Everybody that's rolling in, hit that like. Razor said he's got a lot of college football that he likes today, and the dogs are barking. Razor, I know you haven't been able to make it here because today's a family day for you, and you do this 7 days a week. So I get it, but I always give you the link. If you want to come on and give us anything, we'd love to have it. Here a best bet, even if it's just one. But either way, thanks for being in here, man. Guns. Let's keep this thing rolling. I know what your next game is. It's actually, here we go. James Madison, a short road favorite right here, traveling to Old Dominion. You know, only 2.5 points. I tell you what, I've been burned by that fucking number so many times this season in college football. I don't know if I'd go back to it. 2.5 has been my worst enemy. I'm telling you, if you look at the spreadsheet, if I could take that number off, I'd be hitting it like 85%. But you can't take it off, so it is what it is. Guns, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, we're playing in the Sun Belt today. You guys go hang out in the top 25. Pish posh, pish posh. I'll go over here and make some cash in the Sun Belt with James Madison versus ODU in SB Ballard Stadium, Norfolk, Virginia. 4 p.m. is the kick on this one. And you got JMU. They're coming off back-to-back home wins. They're 7-2 on the year. Absolutely thumping. Even with Signetti leaving that program, this team's still moving along. You have an ODU team, though, started the season very slow, had a few losses in there, but they've won 3 out of the last 4 games, and they're off a road loss, 4-5 on the year, 0-point differential, minus 24 net yard average. ODU's offense can beat you in the run or the pass. And in this game versus this JMU rush defense, they're going to have to pass the ball a lot, and thankfully they have a quarterback that can do it because ODU passes for over 300 passing yards in their last 2 games. They put 304 up on Georgia Southern, 332 on App State. And you have ODU's QB, Colton Joseph. He's absolutely thumping right now, 61.8 pass completion rate, 7.1 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, and 3 INTs on the year. And the JMU defense tends to regress when they go on the road versus home. At home, JMU only gives up 8 points per game. But on the road, they give up 27 points per game with a plus 20-point differential. This includes going 0-2 and straight up and ATS versus conference opponents on the road, and that is against ULM and Georgia Southern. These two teams met last season. JMU actually won the game very close, 30-27, but ODU was a 20.5-point dog in that game. And then you look at the next season, you got to miss a short dog at home. And what does ODU excel at? Being a home dog. They're 5-1 ATS as a home dog dating back to 2023. They also do very good in conference. They're 9-2 ATS versus conference opponents, 3-1 ATS after a bye as well, because they're coming into this game well rested and well prepared. They're also 17-9 as a dog overall since 2022. This team loves to sit as a dog, and you might have a little bit of a look ahead with JMU because they have a revenge game next week versus App State. So maybe we should be fading JMU this week, taking them next week. JMU just underperformed on the road versus conference opponents, and will have their hands full with this ODU team that's just going to be highly motivated in this spot with a revenge angle included. I got it at +3. I know 2.5s are on the board right now, so you might as well just take it on the money line because ODU is going to win this game outright.
There you go. I love that confidence at the end. I tell you what, if you think ODU wins this game outright, would that push you towards an over in this spot, or do you not really have a feel on the total? And
I don't have a feel. I would look at it this way: as there's probably an angle lean to the over just on the sheer fact that JMU gives up more yards on the road than they do at home. If this was a home game for JMU, I'd probably lean towards the under just on the sheer fact that they hold opponents to 8 points per game at home. But on the road, this team regresses. So if ODU is going to be passing the ball heavy in this game, I lean towards the over.
Yeah, I just want to go on record for everybody. I probably will not bet it, but over feels right in this game. I just want to say that I don't think I'll get to the window, but the over feels right here, especially at 51.5. Moose, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be on ODU here, but the issues that I have is I look at some of their grading, and you look at the quarterback position, which Guns brought up, and it's only been above 60 3 times this year. And most of the grades are in the 40s and the low 50s. And that would make me very nervous. One of the things, though, is that Old Dominion is kind of stapled on their rush defense, and James Madison, that should be what they want to do, but they do pass the ball more than they rush, which is very surprising to me. I think this is absolutely a dog spot here. I couldn't get there. There's some things that are kind of make me a little bit nervous. James Madison on the road absolutely has been significantly worse, but it's only been 3 games really, but outside of their game against Charlotte. And they do have the stretch here with Old Dominion, App State on deck. I just couldn't get there, but the only side I was going to look at was Old Dominion, and I just couldn't get to the window with it.
One time.
I mean, I think he's got me on Old Dominion now. If I can get a +3 right here at a reasonable number, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to sprinkle this money line. This is an extremely sharp side, I think, in this game. You're looking at a James Madison team that's 7-2 going against his 4-5 team. It's at Old Dominion. We're seeing 7 out of the 10 tickets come in on James Madison. We're seeing them to drop the line here. I think this is a very sharp spot here by Guns, honestly, and I don't think a lot of people are probably going to be betting this game today. So I am going to be betting this game today. Give me Old Dominion. I'm going to take the +3, and I'm going to sprinkle on the money line.
Hell yeah.
I think I remember. Hold on. Let me look in the chat. Why is my thing clicking the wrong stuff? I'm trying to see what the next game is. You might have to tell me. What was the next one? Was the next one the SMU game?
It's SMU, BC SMU.
Okay. Damn, I was so close to remembering. So ODU for Guns, possibly ODU for Wine Time. I like the over. Probably won't get there. Yes, Kelly in the chat. It's a waffle. I guess you can call it a waffle. I hate that word. I hate that whole thought process. So fuck you, Jose, for doing that or coming up. Or Mike. That was Mike. Fuck you, Mike, for coming up with that. Shout out to Pimp Slap Play of the Day, though. But I digress. We keep this thing rolling. We got stacks on deck ready to get going. We got Kong coming up ready to get going. And we got 2 more best bets from our guy Guns, who went 3-1 last week and has just been dominating, on this show altogether. So we got to keep going. But I do want to say shout out to 140 plus people that are here rocking with us. Get it out there. Let's see if we can hit that 250. If we do, we'll do a giveaway. Thank you guys. Share it, like it, and let's keep rolling, man. SMU Boston College, and SMU at 18.5-point favorite. Number 14 SMU Mustangs, I must say. That was a weird sentence to get out. SMU Mustangs, I must say. And you know what? Shout out to the Mustangs, who are, I guess, about an hour away from me, maybe. Last 3 games have been sold-out stadiums. Hopefully they can keep that trend going, keep a little momentum, put some people in the house. That being said, I'm personally not betting this game, so I'm excited to hear what you got to say, Guns.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot to be taking the Stangs here today. We have BC versus SMU at Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas, Texas. 3:30 is the kick on this one, and you got SMU coming off a bye week. They've won 6 in a row. They're 8-1 with a plus 18-point differential, plus 105 net yard average, going against a BC team that is off a win versus Cuse last week. But they've lost 3 out of the last 4 games. They're 5-4 in the year with a plus 5-point differential, minus 19 net yard average. And SMU has done well at home this season. Absolutely thumped teams there. They're 4-1 straight up in ATS in these spots. And this is the largest spread they've had as a favorite this year versus an FBS opponent at home. So take that note. SMU at home, plus 24-point differential, plus 89 net yard average at home. And you got BC, a better home team than they are a road. Better home team than they are a road team. And on the road this season, they have a minus 6-point differential, minus 62 net yard average. And in conference play, it gets a little bit worse. They have a minus 15.5-point differential on the road versus conference opponents. BC prefers to run the ball. They are ranked 16th in the country in rush play percentage and 18th in rushing attempts. So you know exactly what they're going to be doing here. But SMU has a terrific run defense. They're 6th in opponent rush yards per carry and yards per game. This SMU offense is good and should be able to pass the ball on BC. BC is ranked 86th in opponent pass completion percentage, 116th in the country in opposing pass yards per game. So look for Jennings to be throwing the ball a lot in this one. And of course, there's some issues there with Boston College right now. Tommy Castellanos, he decided to transfer when he got benched last week by Bill O'Brien. They went with the backup quarterback on this one, Grayson James. But when you look at his only one start this season, that was against Western Kentucky. He only put up 279 yards of total offense. They were minus 76 net yards versus a G5 opponent, and they only won the game by 1 point. So that gives you an indicator that losing their starting QB in this situation, their star QB for that matter, is going to be a detriment to them here today. And of course, SMU is 9-2 ATS at home since 2023 and 4-1 ATS at home this year. And it's a revenge game. And you say to yourself, what are you talking about? SMU just joined the conference. How could this be a revenge game? Well, guess where these two teams played last year? Fenway Park, right down the road in Boston in a bowl game. And they were SMU was a 12.5-point favorite in that game and lost outright to BC 23-14. I just think this SMU team is going to thump Boston College today. Boston College, they have issues internally on the roster. New QB going in there that is really unproven, in my opinion. And SMU just wants to thump everybody to get themselves a resume to get into the college football playoff. Give me SMU I got minus 17.5. It's moving upward because when I put in a bet, the line moves, baby. I got it at minus 17.5 as the play.
Moose, you like that. Hey, shout out to my guy, Big Show, rolling in the chat. We got Guns still here, so Guns can do your Big Show shout out.
Well, it's a big show.
That's really good. That's really good. All right, let me
I
just
don't know if it's good or not. It sounded good, but I don't know if I've never heard the actual.
Hey, let me just clean something up. Guns mentioned Castellanos getting benched. He actually he tore his ACL last week. And
did he? I thought
yeah.
I read that it was a benching.
He had to go to the bench after you tear your ACL. So there's not many other places you can go.
And
He's transferring too. He's transferring too.
That was the news though, was that he tore his ACL and then he's like, I'm transferring. It's like, you want to give yourself some time to maybe recover before you start thinking about who you're going to play for next time. But yeah, he did tear his ACL. And if you talk about the downgrade at the quarterback position, that is a significant downgrade because James is not anything special. Your best prospect is actually at the back end. I just looked it up. They actually do have a decent quarterback prospect at the back end of their quarterback room, but not likely to see the field this year, and they're trying to develop. But this is absolutely an SMU spot because you're looking at a BC team that is going the wrong direction fast, and they're going to have to rely on the running game, and that is something that Guns brought up. SMU does very well in defending, so this is absolutely the SMU Mustang wagon here.
Wine time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, me and Moose were talking about it right before Guns came on, actually, backstage. Guys, yeah, this is actually posted on Pub Sports Radio. Broke this game down on Wednesday with Jose. It sounds like we're all on the right side in this spot here. Boston College, they're starting, Grayson James, FIU transfer. Kid's a younger kid. I think he's a sophomore. He's like 19 or 20 years old. I'm not high on him by any means, and especially to learn this pro-style offense is going to be difficult for him. SMU, man, I think they're going to run it up on him early. I think SMU, if they win the coin toss, they should ask to receive and get the ball first, shove this ball down their throat and go up 2 scores early. Because if you go up 2 scores early, there's no way BC's coming back so one-dimensional with their run game. It's a slow offense. It's a pro-style offense. And it's two teams that are both heading in actually opposite directions. Boston College, I don't like what's going on over there. I don't really like Bill O'Brien as a coach, if you ask me. Brett Lashley, on the other hand, I got nothing but good things to say about this guy. This guy was Auburn's offensive coordinator, like back in 2016. I remember was a big fan of him then as a young guy, and now seeing him as a head coach at SMU and taking this team to potentially the national stage at the college football playoff. If they win out, it's going to be a big game against Miami in the ACC title game. Guys, SMU, look for them to put their foot on the gas and not take it off in this spot. Look for Brashad Smith to have a game. They're running back. That guy's going to get off on explosive plays, and that's what SMU does. They're explosive, man. And a lot of these guys, Rhett Lashley, he went into the portal a couple years ago and got these guys and have been developing them over the years. This last offseason didn't really hit the portal too much. A lot of these guys are the same players he's had. I've been high on this SMU team all year long. I got in on them minus 17. Saw it went all the way to an 18.5, 19 at some spots. Now it's to an 18. Take it whatever number it is because they're going to beat these guys by 30 plus. Boston College this is going to be an absolute blowout at SMU here. Give me SMU minus 17. That's what I gave out with Jose. So yeah, give me SMU all day here.
Hey, I tell you what, a couple weeks ago, all you guys would do, in my opinion, was shit talk each other's bets. Now everybody's all kumbaya today. And maybe I'm
just wait.
Maybe I'm the asshole. Maybe I need to be joining you guys or something, I guess.
You want to be the heel?
Right.
Hey, shout out Brian. He's on SMU team total over 34.5 in the chat, man.
Oh, yeah.
Robert, good to see you. Strategic Investments. Glad to have you in here. He said South Carolina minus 13.5.
Yeah.
Chicadora play of the day. Shout out to you, man. South Carolina dominant, man. We'll get there. This next one's a big one that I've seen people jump. Oops, what did I just do? Did I do that?
No, I think he did. He said he had to jump out for a second.
I clicked the button right when that happened. I was like, oh, shit, Cab. Anyways, we keep it rolling. We got 165 plus in the chat now. Let's push it up over that 220 mark. That's where we got last week. Let's push it up over that, guys. But shout out to all you guys. Thank you. Hit the like button. Keep sharing the video if you haven't. We got a big one here that I've seen in the chat, and this is Gunn's fourth and final best bet that he brought to you guys today, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Arizona State going to take on number 18 Kansas State, who I guess, I saw TCU get shut down by Houston's defense. So I do know that Houston has a decent defense because TCU's offense is so potent, but Kansas State losing to Houston, like, how does that even happen? I don't know how that happens here. But at home, I would only lay the points against Arizona State personally. But I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm wearing the hat for a reason. I love Kansas State in this spot. This
fuck? How did I not even notice we had the Kansas State hat? I am out of it.
I'm wearing a purple hat. What are you goddamn?
Wow. Wow.
No, I could have been wearing a fade hat. You didn't even know, but we're going to Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Is Bill Snyder going to be coaching this game? We'll see. I don't know. Manhattan, Kansas, 7 p.m. is the kick, and you got Kansas State coming off a bye and a loss to Houston, like Daby said, 7-2 on the year with a +9 point differential and a +93 net yard average. They're going against an Arizona State team that is off back-to-back wins and a home win versus UCF last week. They're 7-2 on the year with a +8 point differential, +69 net yard average. And what is Arizona State? They are a run-oriented team. They're 15th in the country in rush play percentage, but they're facing a Kansas State team that is 21st in opposing rush yards per play and 16th in opposing rush yards per game. And then Kansas State is run-oriented themselves, 11th in rushing yards per play and 19th in the country in rush yards per game. And they're going against an Arizona State defense that is 4.1 yards per carry given up to opponents this season. And on the road, it gets a little bit worse with a 4.4 yards per carry given up to opponents. And in their last 4 games, that's been the same number as well. Then you have Kansas State dominant at home. They have a +21 point differential and a +132 net yard average in their 4 home games this year. And then you have Kansas State just excelled off a loss. They're 10-2-1 ATS off a loss dating back to 2021. And they're also 15-6 against the spread as a home favorite. They play excellent in Bill Snyder Family Stadium. And this is one of the worst West Coast travel spots, too. They have had similar spots this season for Arizona State, including losing to Kansas 24-14 on the road and Texas Tech losing to them 30-22. They're 1-2 1-2 straight up versus conference opponents on the road this year. Their only win was against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is an absolute dumpster fire, so that one doesn't really count in my opinion. I like Kansas State because they're coming off a loss, which they've excelled at. They're back home, which they play their best ball at. And you think the line should be lower here versus a 7-2 Arizona State team, but it's above a possession. So I think this is a good blowout spot here for Kansas State today. Give it to me at -7.5. You can give me the hook. You can give it to me at 10. You can give it to me at 12. It doesn't matter. It is Kansas State all day, baby.
There we go. That's a fourth and final best bet from Guns, bringing the heat. You see the Kansas State hat. Obviously, everyone would notice that. Anybody who would miss that's an idiot. Shout out to Nate D in the chat. He's asking about the over. I don't know. We got K-State, though. We got K-State.
Yeah.
So I know that. I'll look at that picture soon. Smoke and mirrors, my guy. Anything here? Wine time?
This is a tough matchup here. I got nothing on this game so far, but I mean, Guns kind of touched on it though. This is kind of weird being a 7.5 point spread right now. If you ask me, I thought it'd be a little lower. Arizona State has had quietly a good team in the ACC, and I mean, Scadaboo's playing today, right? I'm assuming
yes,
he is.
He is. Yes, he is. Yes.
And Levitt's playing. I'm actually quite surprised the spread is like this, and for that reason, I'm going to stay off because I'm definitely leaning ASU in this spot. I'm not going to lie. Kansas State's just a team I can't get a good read on this year. I'm not going to lie. In the 2 or 3 games I've taken them, or I've either been on them or been against them, I've lost this season. Just haven't been able to get a good read on them, so I'm going to leave that up to you guys.
Just don't take them on the road. If you don't take them on the road, you're fine. When they play at home, they're exceptional.
Yeah, and their crowd is going to be rocking and rolling for this. This is still a big game for them here in in their conference. So I don't know. This is a tough game. I'm going to stay away from this one. I'm going to stay away from this one.
Your guy Big Show in the chat said he's unliking. I guess he didn't like your shout out earlier, Guns.
Oh,
damn it!
Is he said
you heard it?
I read that he said if we don't shout him out, he's going to unlike. And then I put it in the chat. I said Guns gave you a whole shout out earlier. You must not. So you must not be able to read or hear, or you have me blocked, which all 3 of those are a problem, Big Show, because we definitely did the whole Big Show thing when you first got in here.
I even cleared my throat for it.
Yeah, it was A+. It was an A+ Big Show shout out.
It was a whole thing, but now we're here. So Guns on Kansas State, wine time staying off. Moose, anything?
All right, well, first off, it's the Big Show. So there you go. All right, if that's been an issue, we can get past that now. Couple of things. One, there was at least I thought it was kind of funny, story in the Arizona Sun where they talked about they had a coaches meeting, and one of the things that was brought up was kind of pointing out that everybody at this point in the season is banged up, so take care of your bodies. And so he asked the entire team, is there anybody here right now that feels like they are healthy, 100% healthy? And Cam Scadabo put his hand up to let them know, I am ready and I am coming back this week, because apparently the offensive coordinator last week had to have people lock the door because he was afraid that Scadabo was going to come up into the coach's booth to tell them, you are absolutely playing me this week and I am not taking no for an answer. So I thought that was kind of amusing. The other part of this is I'm also curious to know if Guns is trying to get Kelly in Vegas back by hopping on the Kansas State.
You read my damn you.
But I do think that Kansas State at home is absolutely the place to be. And I mean, hell, if you follow her timeline, which I know most of the guys in here probably do, you are noticing that when she is on Kansas State at home, she is usually celebrating, and we always enjoy when we see Kelly in Vegas celebrating. I think that the other surprising part here is that Kansas State actually passes more than they run, which is really surprising to me, given that Avery Johnson, his whole entire thing is using his legs, and he has been passing more than he has been running. Arizona State has burned me in the past. I am hesitant here, but I absolutely wrote it down because I agree with Guns 100%. Kansas State at home is the time to take them. But this is an Arizona State team that has been much better than I thought they were going to be. They have been very surprising, in my opinion. I do have it written down to kind of check out later. Kansas State would be the only side I looked at. I did look at it last night. I did kind of a little dive, but I couldn't get to the window. But Guns is now pushing me, hand to the back, kind of giving me that little extra nudge, and I might get to the window with this one on Kansas State.
Man,
peer pressure.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat, man. They're rolling right now. Got me rolling too. Look, Big Show never said anything else, so he must have missed it again and not acknowledging again because he didn't say anything.
Do I need to do it again just to appease him?
What? You do it better.
If he's still here, he can let us know. But before I do that, let me recap those 4 best bets that you brought us to kick this show off, man. You got Marshall, right?
That's correct.
Marshall.
We are
-8.5. ODU +3. You said take a money line if you want. But Old Dominion right there. SMU -18.5, and then Kansas State -7.5 to clean it up at home, right?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man. Justin, Kelly in Vegas, he doesn't do Twitter, so I don't know. Like Justin only brings up stacks, and I've told him to make a Twitter, and he won't make it. So I don't know.
You gotta. I mean, if you're just a YouTube person, just go look at Wager Talk. She's part ownership of it. So I mean, she's all over that channel there on Wager Talk. So
yeah, amazing. Yeah. Awesome person too.
Oh yeah, great. She is unbelievable. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely nice ass person. Cool ass shit.
She has what?
She's cool as shit.
Oh, I thought you said
The other part was also true, Cab. The other part was
What
also
did I say?
nice.
What did you hear?
Hey, this is getting way off track. Thank you, Guns, for bringing it to us again, man. Starting the show off the right way. We love it. Go ahead and plug what you got going on. Everybody, make sure and follow our guy Guns. Go check out what he's doing. And support him. That's all it is. Support each other. That's what we got to do.
All right. Well, I guess I had a Freudian slip. That is my bad. But yeah, you can go find me on the Guns Picks channel. I got a show coming up here at 11 o'clock Saturday mornings with Guns Picks. We bring the morning vibes, as they say, as I break down the entire top 25 board up and down all the way for an hour for you guys. I'll even have some more picks. I'll be firing shots consistently all through the week. And just check all my extra points is going to be tomorrow. Just check out all the shows on the Guns Picks channel and just check me out on X. Yeah, GUNZPPICKS. Oh, yes. I'm ready to dominate college football for the rest of this season. So keep following along, and I'll be back next week. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang!
Let's go, Guns.
Has its own outro and everything, too.
Killing it all season. I got to get his overall record for you guys, man. Hey, Wine Time, we're going to roll to you like we always do here, but I want to go ahead and bring our guy on because he's been backstage the whole time. And he's ready to rock. I like I said, I want you to go over yours first, and then we'll get to his. And I'm not saying, let me find it. You guys got to remember I'm producing and hosting with you guys at the same time, but we got it right here. We got to bring our guy in. Guns came in last week, went 3-1, and then our next guest coming in here to join us came on and went 2-0. Not only one in college football, but also in college basketball. And he told me he's got one of each for us today also. So I'm excited to hear what it is. Our dude Stacks right here.
Stacks.
Sir.
Yeah, Justin. What's
What
up,
up, Justin?
Yo, what's up?
Daby, Moose, One Time. How you?
Good, man. How about you?
How we doing?
I'm a little hungover. I went to the game last night, but I'm all right.
Let's go.
What game were you at last night?
Robert Morris and Lindenwood.
Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah, man. Thomas in the chat said this man is nice. Yeah, Stacks is nice, man. Stacks has been here with us, rocking with us for a minute now. I'm just glad that we're finally getting consistency on camera, man. Killed it last week. Ready to hear what we're going to do this week. I want to let Wine Time hit a couple of his best bets first, though, Stacks, because he's got to bounce. And then we'll get to Stacks right after he's done. So, Wine Time, what did you want to talk about here first?
You know what? Let's go to the late night game, man. Let's go to Kansas at BYU, man. The game I'm getting a lot of heat for in the comments on Pub Sports Radio.
Dude, it's crazy. I'm not betting it, and I'm loving that you're going to talk about it. But you can't give out Kansas and not expect to get heat, especially because like BYU's. I don't know if they've said that being a Mormon is being a part of a cult, but like you got. No, I'm just kidding. I'm treading like thin water today. I'm just fucking around. If we got any BYU people or Mormons in the chat, thank you for being here. Regardless, I've said it before. I didn't. Never mind. What's your thoughts here, Wine Time?
A big game here for BYU, man. A lot on the line for him here. College football implications, title game hopes right here. Big time game. I mean, probably they could take a loss here and still be okay, honestly, in the long run. I'm not going to lie. A couple weeks ago when I said I saw Penn State being the number 3 team in the nation, it was the worst number 3 team in the nation. This is the worst number 6 team in the nation I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie. I'm not impressed by this BYU team at all. I get they've came away with some impressive wins this year. Good for them. Last week, really close game with the Utah team that is heading in the wrong direction, a program that's really I had high hopes for going to this season, and it's looking like that program's kind of going underneath right now. We're not sure what's going to happen with the whole coaching staff. I'm sure Whittingham will be back, but there's a lot of talk that he might step away, honestly. They dropped their offensive coordinator. They've been calling the plays for him. Just nothing's good happening over there, and they probably should have won that game. They played a lot better than BYU, and a lot of these games BYU has gotten bailed out by the refs. I get it. I don't think they necessarily got bailed out by the refs last game. Definitely had a lot of a lot of flags both ways in that game. With that being said, though, the Utah athletic director did come out and say all this stuff. I definitely think flags are going to go one way here, and they're going to go towards I think in Kansas's favor here. I think they're going to get some favorable calls here in their direction. I don't even know if they quite need it here. This offense is explosive, man. I mean, we saw what they did last year with Coach K, who's now coaching the offense over there at Penn State, top 10 program right now. He had this team. I mean, he had this program humming in the right direction, winning some big games last year. They don't have quite the home field advantage this season because they're playing at a neutral site, I believe, because their stadium is under renovation. They're building a new stadium, I believe. With that being said, man, Kansas probably has one of the better running backs in the Big 12, and Devin Neal. This guy's having a really good year. Still being not talked about enough, in my opinion. This guy's going to be playing on Sundays one day. I'm not sure if he's going to be a starting running back for an NFL team, but I mean, he's definitely going to sign an NFL contract somewhere and get the opportunity somewhere. Jalen Daniels, man, this kid's got every tool in the shed to be really good, man. All these preseason awards going into this season, expectations not really met. Last couple weeks, though, they've been playing well, man. We saw what they did against a really elite Iowa State defense, a team that was probably going to go to the college football playoff. We'll see about that. Still a lot of games left with all these games being played and all these teams with 1 or 2 losses. I just think it's a Kansas spot, man. I think they have the explosive playmakers on the offensive side of the ball to get it done here. They're going to have to make some stops on defense. I get that. Jake Retzlaff having a good year over there from BYU. They're having a great year. Shout out to BYU, that head coach over there. I believe this is his first or second year being the head. I'm not sure, but he's a fairly new head coach over there. And with that being said, I think Kansas is the only side here we're seeing this line drop, and we're seeing, not even all the bets coming in on BYU, which is I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing about a 57% towards BYU. You know what? Just by looking at this alone, I'm going to take Kansas in this spot every single time. And I think out of 100 times, I'll probably win 56, 57 of the times. I might take a loss here. And if so, so be it. I've faded the number 6 team in the nation. Nothing wrong with that. I'm taking Kansas here all day +3 and on the money line. They're going to get it done here.
I tell you what, you got people in the chat agreeing with you. Shout out to our guy, Rude Vol. He said personal POD is Kansas tonight, money line. And then somebody else dropped Kansas also. It was 2 people that said Kansas. Where was the other one who just said it? Somebody else said it also. Shout out to the Real TP, Hawaii -2.5, and then Marshall -7 as a 2-leg parlay. Shout out to you, Real TP. Thank you for dropping that action. And he likes the over. That's what it was. Real TP said he likes the over. Robert Martin also liking Kansas. So more love in here. I guess it's just like you said, the chat section. But hate is always welcome too. Comments are always welcome, positive or negative.
A couple weeks ago, when me and Moose, I think it was with the Boss and the Sauce, and Boss hit me up. And he's like, dude, we just got one of the most views on that BYU video, and everyone is just hammering you in the comments. And I was like, and I was like, yeah. And, it happened again, all those BYU fans out there. If Kansas takes care of business, I just hope they don't delete their comments. I'll still be here giving out plays no matter what. At the end of the day, if I lose this bet, it's not the end of the world to me. But this is just, it's my cap. It's the Kansas side. It's the only way I can go here. So
yeah, exactly. Shout out to our dude, Matty Ice. Taint play of the day came on the sesh, actually made an appearance. Obviously Cash too. That was a no-brainer. Cash, the Taint play of the day. But shout out to our guy Taint. He said he's nervous about the environment here tonight. Moose, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, BYU at home at night. That is, you do not go against BYU at home at night. If it's a day game, out the window, because Mormon's got to get out of church. And just for the record, according to South Park, Mormon is the correct religion. According to South Park, that is the correct answer to get into heaven. So that being aside, I am not buying Kansas the way that Wine Time is. I remember Wine Time earlier in the week. You're like, man, I like Kansas. And I'm just like, Jalen Daniels has not been anything close to what I thought he would be. But over his last 3 games, he has played better. And that is something to say. Devin Neal went into the game last week with an injury designation. I kind of thought that was going to turn into a hindered or at least reduced role, but it did not. He still carried the mail. The issue for me with Kansas is their tackling. Their tackling has been atrocious all year. They've only graded above a 60 on PFF 3 times this year. And BYU, they're going to force you to tackle them correctly because they run forward. They are not one of those teams that really tries to duck and dive. They are going to be going straight line. And at home, at night, BYU, the College Football Insiders, shout out Parker Fleming Stats of War, they got this as a 13-point victory for BYU, and that's kind of how I see this. I do not feel confident, though, after last week going against Kansas to jump back on BYU this week. I think the time to fade BYU is going to be next week against Arizona State when they travel there. That's going to be the time that if they are able to get out of this game, I am going to be – Peavy, hey, sorry, my dog. They are going to be the spot next week to attack BYU is going to be on the road at Arizona State in a very hostile environment. So that's going to be when I attack BYU. I've already got it circled, and that's next week. This is this week. I'm not touching Kansas. I'm not touching BYU. Best of luck, wine time, but I'm not on this.
I want to hear your thoughts, Stacks, but look at this comment first, guys. I got to read it. And I can hear Razor laughing like when he puts it like that too. I literally can hear him say it. But he said BYU is 9-0, or BYU is 9-0, favored by 2.5 against a 3-6 team, and BYU is at home. Ha 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 ha. P.S. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear his voice saying it. Stacks, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, I don't have no action in this game, and I'm not gonna have no action. But a lot of my cap is line reading, and I kind of feel like Razor, like BYU -2.5. Like, I feel like it's a trap. But then again, how you bet against BYU at night? Like, so I'm off that game. I respect Wontine's cap, but BYU at night, I can't. I wouldn't fade it. I wouldn't bet against BYU at night. But the lines clearly says Kansas. I just can't do it.
Yeah, same for me. So Wine Time, we got you with SMU. We got you with Kansas. What's the next one you want to look at?
We're going to Madison, Wisconsin, baby.
Okay, I love it.
Let's go. I love this game right here, guys. I'm going to be adding a play I haven't given out on Twitter yet, so I'm going to be giving out the best number available sidewise in this one. But yeah, man, heading to Madison, Wisconsin, man, a hostile environment. This place is no joke. You guys just mentioned BYU at night. This place at night too, man. This place is gonna be rocking and rolling here in Wisconsin, man. We see this spread here opening up at a -12 for Oregon. Everyone's coming in, hammering the hell out of them as they should. They're the number one team in the nation. I mean, they're a $20 million roster. I mean, they've got every tool in the shed. They've got a quarterback that's second in the Heisman right now. I don't really necessarily agree with that, but with that being said here, man, it's a 14-point spread. We're seeing some 13.5s right now. Listen here, man, Wisconsin, they've been playing some pretty good football here. They've been playing some good defense, give or take, against their competition. I'm not going to lie, against that USC game, had some question marks in that one at that second half because they went into that first half with the lead in that one, and USC came out second half and absolutely steamrolled them, which is worrisome. Wisconsin, I mean, in that Penn State-Wisconsin game, guys, that game was so much closer than the actual score was. Wisconsin could have won that game outright if you actually watched that game. So many simple – Wisconsin beat themselves in that game, beat themselves up on decisions. Iowa, I mean, everyone's getting beat up by Iowa in Iowa right now. I mean, we saw what Iowa did to Washington a couple weeks ago, and we saw UCLA beat Iowa on the road, and then UCLA goes to Washington, loses. It's just – this is how the Big Ten works, guys, and Wisconsin is a tough place to play. Luke Fickell, man, kind of got a lot on the line here, man. A lot of people aren't really believing in this Wisconsin program necessarily. They had a pretty good quarterback in Tyler Van Dyke in the beginning of the season. Still stick to this right now. I think they would have held in that game against Alabama if he would have played that entire game, and the season would be a lot different. Being said, Brendan Locke doing a pretty good job being a game time manager for this Wisconsin offense. It's kind of what you have to do right now. They have a good running back in Tyree Walker. I like him as a running back. I expect him to get involved. You got to keep this Oregon offense off the field as much as you can in this spot, and you have to stop them. Wisconsin on defense, this secondary, elite, guys. One of the better secondaries in the Big Ten. Against the run, getting the pass rush, we'll see, man, because this Oregon offensive line is elite, and Wisconsin hasn't been able to get a lot of pressure against opposing quarterbacks this season. But with that being said, if they can at least get to Dillon Gabriel, put some pressure on him, force him to make some mistakes, maybe in the secondary when he gets to the red zone, force an interception. We've seen Dillon Gabriel make numerous mistakes in the red zone this season. That's why, personally, I don't think he's a Heisman guy. I just think it's the system and the team around him. But with that being said, they've got a really good running back in Jordan James, an elite running back right here. He was backing up Bucky Irvin, who's the starting running back pretty much for the Buccaneers right now. This guy was stealing touches last year. This guy's an NFL running back. He's going to be playing some big-time ball. You stop him, which is going to be tough, man. I think they're going to honestly have to I don't think that you load the box in this spot. I think you got to kind of have to leave your corners and islands against these receivers because Tez Johnson is out for this one. Oregon's #1 receiver was out last game too. They've got plenty of guys. This is this and Ohio State are $20 million rosters, guys. These guys are making a lot of money playing for these programs. This was in Oregon, a lot different of a cap. I just think Wisconsin, you run the ball here, you force Oregon into these 3rd and long situations, and you kind of control the time of the clock, and you're going to stay in this game. With that being said, I got in at the under 53, gave it out on Monday, gave it on the show with Jose when it was 52.5. It's all the way down to a 50.5 right now, which I absolutely love that it's moved in my direction. I'm also going to move on the Wisconsin side here, plus 14, guys. I just think this might be, I don't know, man. The more I'm looking at this, the more I think upset alert in this spot. In Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin, I'm not telling you guys to go throw a full on Wisconsin money line. I'm taking a sprinkle on this plus 500. That's just me. But I'm going to take the plus 14, minus 110 in this spot in a game that I think Wisconsin's going to be in this one, man. This home crowd's going to be behind them in this spot. And Luke Fickell, like I say, he's kind of got along the line. He's got to win some big games. At least give your home crowd a good game against the #1 team in the nation. Hold them, stay within 14 points in this one. Give me whiskey.
Tough spot in my opinion. Tough thoughts here. I love it though, man. I'll be rooting for you because I don't have action for it, so I'll root for you on that. I see we're at the 50-minute mark already, so do we got to go ahead and let you bounce here to get to Boston the Sauce?
Yeah, that was my last play as well. I got a couple more, but yeah, I gave out all my stuff. Let me give out one more play too. I'm not going to give too much.
You can stay as long as you want. I'm just trying to be the responsible one. And
I appreciate you. I know I wasn't even looking at the time. I love once I start talking, man, it's hard to get me to stop talking sometimes. But Florida, guys, another spot me and Jose took a look at earlier in the season. I'm kind of getting beat up in the comments for that one as well. Florida, I got in at them plus 4.5. It's down to a 3.5 right now. All the money is on LSU. I saw LSU, Locked On LSU guy come out and say that they have a road to the college football playoff still for LSU, and I absolutely laughed my ass off. I know, right? I couldn't believe that when I saw that. He legit set out a 30-minute video on how they're going to make the college football playoff. Makes no sense to me. This team's going to lose this game outright at fucking the Swamp. Hostile place to play. The OGs got me on this place when I first started capping college football a couple of years back, told me about the Swamp. I faded at the week 1 in Miami spot. It was a clear-cut Miami spot. In Florida, excuse me, Billy Napier having this team head in the right direction. He's getting his recruits in. DJ Lagway is going to be playing for this one. He's going to be rocking and rolling, 5-star recruit. Go out there and play. Excuse me. Go out there and play for your coach and your team here because you guys can still make a bowl game. You can still get some good recruits. And Billy Napier is extended this year. They're going to get this done here at the Swamp. Give me Florida. I got the plus 4.5. They gave it out. It's 3.5, still at the 3.5, and I love the money line. They're going to win this game outright, guys.
So Florida plus 3.5, Wisconsin, did you say it was plus 15?
14. Apologies.
14. Plus 14.
Minus 110.
And then the under in the Wisconsin game. And then you got SMU, ATS. I know the numbers moved. And then Kansas minus 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know Kansas plus it's a plus.
Oh, plus. My bad. I don't know what I was thinking. Plus.
Shout out to Davis at the background. Makes me dizzy.
Nah. And we'll be talking about the Florida game a little bit later as well.
Heck yeah. Well, I mean, the Boston, I'm going to try to come back. The Boston Sauce, I know Ragu's going to miss this one, so it's going to be a shorter show. So I'm going to try to hop back on here with you guys probably towards the tail end of the show.
Hell yeah, man. Always. Always.
But yeah, appreciate you guys as always, man. Always a blast doing this with my friends, man. Love you guys. Love to chat, man. Love talking college football. This is my favorite day of the week, man. I'm hoping to have a big day today and have a fun day watching these games and make some cash. So let's get to it, boys. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, Justin. Hell yeah, Justin. Hell yeah.
Much love, man. Much love. Well, Stacks, it's about that time. We're going to get to Stacks. But before I do that, I don't like having people sit backstage. So I'd rather have the next person, instead of sit there and wait, I'd rather have them here so they can give their opinion and weigh in. And just so everybody knows, we will go back to that LSU Florida game, and we will go back to that Oregon game. So don't worry, that wasn't the only time. I know other people have bets on them. I have a bet in the LSU Florida game. And I know this next guy that's coming on has a bet in the Oregon game. But let me stop talking because we got to get to Stacks. And then I know this guy's going to unload a clip. He comes on and kills it, week in and week out. I don't want to mess up his unit count and say the wrong thing, but you are up quite a bit, a good bankroll if you've been following him on our show. Our dude right here, Kong's Clips. Kong, what up, man?
What up, brother? Happy Saturday.
Hell yeah, man. Excited to be here like always. You and I were going back and forth. Maybe not the epitome of like Saturdays as far as like games go, but we still have action, and that's all that matters. We got action. We got money on the line. Excited to be here, man. Glad you're here with us. I don't know if you heard it because you bounced back and in. We're going to let Stacks go ahead and hit his Stacks PODs real quick, and then we'll get to yours. Just wanted to bring you up here. Jerry, good to see you in the chat, man. Everybody rolling in. Anybody that just got here, because we do got new people rolling in, right up about 200 people now. Hit the like button if you can. Share the video. And let's hit that 250 mark this week. I really think we can do it. But we got a lot of bets to cover still. We got a lot to go. We're right about that hour mark. So let's get rocking, Stacks. What's the let's do college football first, because I know you said you got college football and college basketball. What's the college football game that you brought for Stacks so I can get that graphic up?
Well, we might as well, first game, we might as well get this out the way. Go to Georgia game.
Georgia.
All right.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say on this. I do have action on this one too. So where are we at right here? Come on, damn it. Obviously, I have a graphic for this one. If I don't, that would be hilarious if I somehow missed this game.
You got a graphic for this.
Of course I got a graphic. Georgia at home. Georgia at home. Right here on that, outside, number 12 ranking right here after losing last week. Tennessee, number 7, traveling to take them, 9.5 points and 46.5. It's a lot of points, and it's a low total for these two teams. But I want to hear what our guy has to say here, Stacks, especially because I know you're close with this Georgia team. What are you thinking?
My bad, y'all.
Good.
You want to say hi?
You can say hi. We love that.
Let's get special guest. Special guest.
Say hi to everybody. You got been down.
You got been down.
Say hi.
Hi,
Say I got my phone
I got my phone.
and I'm leaving now.
I'm leaving now.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll
Nice.
give you cereal as soon as I'm done. All right. I'm be quick. I gotta give somebody cereal.
Yeah, you're good, man.
I heard, Dab, I know your play, and y'all know I'm a Georgia fan. It's not a homer bet, I promise y'all. I'm on Georgia minus 9.5 with confidence. That Stacks play day number 2. I know my team. I don't bet my team every week. I hardly ever bet them. The only teams we don't beat is Bama. Now I guess we got to add Ole Miss to that list. I don't understand how that shit happened, but that's another story. But you want to fade Kirby Smart off a loss at home. Now we can't be taking losses now. Style points count. We number 12. We're at the end for the playoffs. It's now or never. We gotta smack these boys. We always smack. What we do them last year? And what's his name? Miko? He not healthy. It's the wrong defense to come off a concussion protocol. The wrong defense. You better pray that this boy finish the game. Whether he does or not, this is a blowout. Blowout.
Well, hopefully first half it's not a blowout, because like you said, my bet. I am on Tennessee first half, so we got Stacks full game here at 9.5. I'm on Tennessee first half. For me, I've watched over the last couple of years, even on the games where Georgia has blown teams out, they just are starting too slow. Their game, Texas, I guess, is the one exception, but shit, Beck still had 2 interceptions in that first half against Texas. It was just a full throttle from the defense.
But this is off a loss, though.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's off
And
a lot.
the season coming to an end. We got to make some noise. We got to smack everybody now. We got 2 lots. We're gonna get in, but we can't be at the doorstep.
Yeah, so I'll say it again. Hopefully Josh Heupel has something drawn up early, man, because it's going to be on him. Hopefully he has something drawn up early so I can get through that first half. I've seen Georgia starting slow, so maybe you get full game, I get first half. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. I've seen it happen more than college basketball. That shit will happen all the time, because I say this college basketball is a game of 2 halves. Kong, I want to hear your thoughts, and Moose, I want to hear your thoughts on this, but I know Stacks has got to go because you got someone to get some food for.
I ain't got to go. You all right.
She's all right.
Yeah,
All right, cool. What's your thoughts on this one, Kongs?
So I do have a best bet in this game. I lean Tennessee because of my best bet. I'm on the under. These two teams, these two teams coming together. Big game in the SEC. Tennessee's front seven. Georgia having trouble last week. I'm on the under. First half and full game. So with the under, I have to lean Tennessee. But I can't be on a side here. Just the under.
Yeah.
So we got Stacks on Georgia, me on Tennessee first half, Kong on the under. Moose, are you on this game?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kongs. Give me that under. I took it. I like the first half under better than the full game, though, because the first half under has actually been a significant win to the under. The first half under, hold on, where is it? I have Tennessee had 5 of their games in the first half being lower scoring half and going under the total. Georgia has had 5 of their games with the first half being the lower scoring half and going under the total. But I mean, Georgia did have 2 games where their first half totals went over 30, so I'll throw that out there. But this is surprisingly a Tennessee defense that ranks second in the nation in EPA for defense, and you're having Uncle Nico come off of concussion protocol, just like Stacks was talking about. And I don't think this is a great week for him not to get in practice time. And if you're in concussion protocol, you know what you're not doing? You're not practicing. So I do like what Justin is talking about with the angle of you're not having your quarterback getting his starting reps, preparing for a Kirby Smart defense that is absolutely going to come at you, because you know what was drilled this week in practice. It was Kirby Smart getting after the defense. In press conference, he was talking about how the Georgia defense needs to be the dogs that he knows they can be. And you look at the red zone for both teams. Both teams in the red zone have been elite. So I'm looking at this game as a field goal game. I do think that Georgia has the better offense here, but when you have Carson Beck back there at under center, I don't see Georgia really being able to cover the number too much. I would lean Tennessee here, but look, Stacks, Kirby Smart off of a loss. I mean, that dude gets into the coach's room, locks himself in there, and then comes up with something. But I think he's focusing on the defense here, which that has been the issue in both of their losses. It has been the defense, and it has been the downfield play, the explosive play that has beat Georgia. And you know what Tennessee has struggled with? They have struggled with the deep play. Uncle Nico has made improvements in that area, specifically in the second half against Bama. But now, without a week of practicing, I kind of see them going back to the more modified run attack. And I don't see Uncle Nico having too many downfield shots and too many downfield success stories here to write home about. Give me the first half under for a full unit, and I'm on the full game under for a half unit. The other interesting thing, when Nico and Deontay Thornton both got cleared, the line went down.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, all that talk about practice, but still, you do want to be there for this, especially. But one thing about Kirby Smart is he's an adjustment coach. That's why you take full game when you bet Georgia. You go full game because Kirby Smart is one of the best coaches at making adjustments. And all this is just to say, hopefully, I can cash that first half bet. Anyways, we move on from this one. Tennessee, Georgia. We got action all over the place on the total. We got action on both sides. So, pick your poison or your antidote, whatever you want to call it, in the chat. Thank you guys again for being here. Tori, glad you're rolling in here. Tex Styles, good to see you. He said dog energy, so he's with you. Stacks. Let's keep moving. What's your college basketball, or did you have another college football game?
Yeah, Navy and Tulane.
Oh man, I do like this game here. I want to hear what you're on too. Got it right here. Number 25 Tulane at that. As a touchdown favorite on the road, taking on the Shipmen here. What are you looking at?
I'm on Navy plus 4.5 first half.
Navy 4.5 first half. Love it. Anything you guys want to add here, Stacks, or not Stacks, sorry, Kongs or Moose?
I was looking at the Tulane side full game, also with the team total. Didn't get there with the team total. I did play Tulane at 6.5 a couple days back. I think I might have gave it out on my X as well. Navy, they're all right. I think this Tulane team's going to be able to do things against this defense, be able to move the ball. They got a good running back. I did take his rushing prop over 100. I think it was 105.5 rushing yards. No best bet, but I lean Tulane.
Moose, anything here?
Navy at home has been a little bit better. I do remember the game earlier in the year. My dad was actually at the game, the Memphis Navy game, and I would have thought that Memphis would have been able to handle that easily. Navy offense has been surprisingly good this year. I think Navy puts up a little bit of a fight here, but I don't see them being able to win the game outright. Kind of interesting over potentially, but Navy is still a team that likes to run the ball, likes to drain clock. So any kind of service academy overs are always going to have that little asterisk to it. But I do think there's going to be some points here.
Yeah, I get it wrong. What did I say? What did I say, Steve G? I said the wrong thing. Midshipman. Sorry. Shipman, midshipman. My bad, dude.
Same thing.
My bad. Gravy Bets. Good to see you in here, man. So we got stacks. This is Georgia was not stacks number one. This is stacks number one. Georgia is just something you're betting, right?
No, Georgia stacks number 2. I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. So Georgia stacks.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we got Navy first half. Georgia full game. What's the next one?
Is the basketball game.
Cool. And I don't have graphics for this, so just let us know what game it is.
It'd be Georgetown and Notre Dame.
Okay. What's this one?
I got Georgetown plus 2.5 at home against Notre Dame.
Talk about a fall off for this Notre Dame basketball program the last couple of years, man. Like I want to say 3 years ago, maybe 4, but I think 3 years ago, I made pretty good money betting them. The last 2 years, I've done nothing but fade Notre Dame because it's been the only way you can bet them. I mean, sometimes at home, sometimes at home maybe, but Notre Dame's been nothing but a fade for me. So fade Notre Dame. Any other thoughts?
Thing about this is, as y'all know, I'm currently living in Pennsylvania. This dude, he's a forward center, Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. You're going to hear his name a lot. He had 25 last game. He had 20 the game previous to that against Lehigh. He's the ranked number 50 prospect overall in class 2024. He's the number 3 prospect out of Pennsylvania, according to 247sports.com. I think Georgetown is like probably about 2 years away from being maybe 2 years away. But I feel like it starts now. I feel like the competition, Notre Dame jumped on Buffalo. Not that Georgetown played too much of them up, but I'm a big fan of Georgetown this year. A big fan of Sorber, and I really like them plus 2.5 today.
Beautiful. So we got.
And I bet it.
And yeah, we got Georgia, Georgetown, and Navy. Yeah, and Navy is first half, and then Georgetown was full game, right?
Yeah, plus 2.5.
Gotcha. Love it, man. So we got 3 stacks play of the days today. What a day, man. Anything else you wanted to add, man? Anything else for the chat or anything?
That's pretty much all I got.
Hell yeah, man.
What's up? You got some basketball today?
Man, I've looked at it. I'll text you. We text each other. I'll text you when I pull the trigger. I wanted to look a little longer before I made any bets on it because I was kind of all college football last night. But I'll text you for sure.
That's how I was. All
right, man. Well, Stacks, dude, every week we appreciate you. For those in the chat who don't know, he doesn't want to have an X or any social media. So the only place you can find him is right here on Pub Sports Radio, giving out the Stacks play of the day, cash and bets. Any last word for the chats, man?
Nah, I got nothing. Moose, Kongs, appreciate y'all. Daby, hit me when you get some bets. Other than that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, much love, my dude.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Love that, man. Love having Stacks here with us. Shout out to him, man. Dutch, in the chat. Shout out to my guy Dutch, co-host right there. He said this card is a day shift at a strip club type of card. Where's the diamond in the rough? I think we all kind of feel that way too. But speaking of diamond in the rough, we got our own diamond right here. Kong's about to kill it. I'm gonna run this Kong's intro clip one more time. Give you guys just another second to hit the like button and share the video before Kong unloads this clips for us. And thank you guys for rocking with us. I love that. I love that thing, man. Both of you guys' intro, they killed it. Shout out to Jose, T, everybody producing. Dutch, I know you helped come up with that one too for the stuff that's in it. But let's get paid, man. Kong, what's the first game you want to take us to?
Oregon, Wisconsin.
I saw you backstage. You wanted on camera whenever Wine Time was talking about this one. I could tell. Where is this graphic?
Yes, sir.
Everybody
take a minute. Hit that motherfucking like button. Run them likes up.
Exactly. We got over 200 people here. So thank you guys for rocking. Let's see if we can hit that 250. This game don't need much introduction because we were already on it. But if you can't tell by the shirt, you're going to hear a little bit different take on it than you heard just a little bit ago. So what you got here, Kong?
All right. So Oregon heading to Wisconsin. We got the number one ranked Oregon Ducks traveling to Wisconsin. This Wisconsin team is nothing special. Anytime they've played a team with a pulse this season, they have been slaughtered. Alabama 42-10, USC 38-21, Penn State 28-13, Iowa 42-10. Their best win was 42-7 over Rutgers. This team should get punked by Oregon. I'm laying it Oregon minus 13.5. It's not a bigger number this week. Oregon, we've been laying bigger numbers with Oregon, but you're asking me to cover 2 touchdowns with the best team in the country every week. I'll play it every week.
Yeah, so I didn't want to kill Wine Time's vibe, and I already knew that you were going to come up here and say this. But I will say that now I kind of feel the same way, man. Honestly, if I was to bet this game, it would be Oregon. There's no way it would be the other way for me. But I haven't bet it, so it is what it is. But you got Oregon here, full game. Moose, I know you already shared on it, but did you have anything else you wanted to say about it? Or
no, I didn't get the opportunity to talk about it. But the thing that I really thought was the most impressive here about this game was the chat dropping all the knowledge earlier. It seemed like everybody was coming out from the woodworks to give an opinion and a take, and there were some impressive stats that were coming out there. I forget who was talking. I think it may have been TP that was talking about one of the linemen for Oregon that's like 6'7", 300 pounds, and is one of the fastest linemen out there. Given some different some score predictions. I definitely would like the under here, but I just when you're talking about a team that has a Heisman hopeful, if they have the opportunity to kind of run up the score a little bit, they're absolutely going to take it, because a Heisman trophy in their trophy case makes the program look better. It is part of the recruiting. So I would lean under here, but I'm not going to get there because I kind of side with Kongs here. I think Oregon is absolutely the better team. Luke Fickell is I'm not sure what to really think of him. I thought he was a great coach when he was at Cincinnati, but there have been a couple of teams now, back-to-back years, where I thought he had a team that would be very successful. Granted, Tyler Van Dyke is not there and is not going to be there anytime soon, but he's also got a defense that has not been consistent. Wisconsin has shot themselves in the foot a lot this year, specifically against the better teams like Kong pointed out. So I would lean Oregon here. I think the under would be the better look for me, but I'm not getting to the window because I think if Oregon has the chance to run up the score, they're absolutely going to run up the score. They're not going to just sit on the ball and look to next week. They are going to try to make Dylan Gabriel look better to the Heisman voters, and I just stayed off of this one.
Beautiful. So Kong on the other side of Wine Time here. Our guys head to head. What's up, Kong?
I'm also on the Oregon first half, minus 7.5. I don't think Wisconsin's able to run the ball here. Wine Time said he thinks they're gonna pound the rock and try to hold on to the ball. You're not running the ball consistently on Oregon. This defense is really good. We'll see. I mean, that's why we play the games, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the other side of the LSU game than a lot of people. I know a lot of people are on Florida, and I went with LSU. So it is what it is. We're always on, opposite sides if you do this long enough. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Like you said, we'll see. What's the next one that you want to look at, man?
We are headed to Tennessee, Georgia.
Okay. I love it. Another one where I was on the other side of, Stacks that came up here. So I'm excited to hear your take on this one.
Kumbaya ended pretty quickly, huh, Cab?
What'd you say?
Kumbaya ended pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah, we've been on the opposite side since Guns got off. You guys were just all on Guns picks earlier, but what do you say? The last thing cut out.
Glazing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like fucking Krispy Kreme in this bitch early in the morning.
Extra cream.
Tennessee, Georgia. Everybody already knows we've talked about this game a bit, so I'll let Kongs just take it. But drop your thoughts in the chat too, man. I'm seeing people roll in here that are probably just now getting in here, like Jared Bush. Ron Lofton said he's close to taking Colorado 13.5. Chase, good to see you, Chase J. Rants, everybody, man. Rod Z dropping stats. Yeah, Rod, I'm on LSU. He said Florida with 12 plus injured guys. Do not bet the Gators. I didn't bet the Gators. I bet LSU. So, Rod, we're together there. But what you got here, Con?
Yeah, so shout out to everybody in the chat. Rod Z, Jared Bush, Steve G, Rants. Yeah, shout out you guys. Touch that like button if you haven't yet. We're headed to the SEC. Great game in the SEC. Tennessee heads to Athens for a matchup that could decide the fate of the Bulldogs. I believe the defensive front for the Vols will give Georgia trouble just like they had last week. I also believe Georgia will give Nico and company trouble on offense. As far as a side in this game, I lean Tennessee. I think this is too many points, but only because of my best bet in this game. My best bet's going to be the under. This will be a grimy battle in the trenches. Teams fighting for survival. End of the season. And I do believe Kirby Smart is going to have his defense on point. Look for turnovers. It's going to be a defensive battle. I don't think Georgia's going to be able to move the ball, especially in the first half. We've seen Georgia have trouble moving the ball in the first half. They make adjustments at halftime. Kirby's really good about that. And then they come out in the second half. And if they're going to blow you out, it's going to be in the second half. So my best bet in this game is going to be the first half under 24. And I'm also on the full game under 47.5. I see it's ticked down just a little bit. I still endorse the 46.5. But first half's my favorite best bet in this game.
So the under first half here, Moose, you already weighed in on this one, right?
But let me clear up something because I did have a little question in the chat about why do I think it's a field goal, because they were kind of disagreeing with it. Tennessee, because I'm 100% on that first half with you, Kongs. I think we are aligned on that, but we are not going to be aligned on another game you're about to talk about. Spoiler alert. But Tennessee ranks 110th in red zone efficiency, and the Georgia red zone defense has only allowed 11 touchdowns in 24 red zone trips. The Georgia red zone offense has done very well, 25 touchdowns out of 37 attempts, but Tennessee red zone defense has only allowed 10 touchdowns in the red zone out of 27 trips. So that's why I'm seeing a field goal game there. Just to kind of clarify, because I know that there was a little bit of a question out there. Not discounting your opinion. Obviously, Georgia has done very well in the red zone, but if you look at the data and the data points in the red zone offense, it does skew towards field goals versus touchdowns.
Well,
Rod Z. I see Rod Z. Rod Z says, I was just going to read this comment out real quick. Rod Z says, bet the under the first half total in Georgia games after a game with a turnover margin of -2 or worse. The first half under record since 2022 is 7-0.
Nice. Love it.
Shout out to our guy Rod Z there. Hell yeah, man. and everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for rocking with us. You know his next one, and I don't, so I don't know how that works. What's the next one, Kong? I don't know how you knew his next one, Moose.
I don't know if it's next, but I know it's coming up.
Virginia at Notre Dame.
That's not it.
Oh, okay. Let's say I don't know how you know something I don't know. Virginia traveling to take on Notre Dame. Notre Dame back up to the number 8 spot. They don't have any room for any error. Some of these SEC teams we talk about, they've been able to lose these 2 games. Notre Dame can't lose that second game. They got to stay on gas to the floor here. I didn't bet this game though. 22.5, not really something I had thoughts on. So what are you thinking, Kong?
All right, so Virginia travels to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense should be the difference in this matchup. I look for Notre Dame to try to put Virginia away early and get some second-string players out there in the second half. Notre Dame has a huge game on deck with the Black Knights of Army, a game that I think Army covers, if not wins outright. My best bet for this game is Notre Dame first half minus 13.5.
I like that first half more than the full game for sure. Notre Dame first half minus 13.5. Moose, what's your thoughts here? You're muted.
Sorry, my dog has been an absolute terror this morning. So Peavy is wreaking havoc. But I think Colin hit the nail on the head. I mean, but Notre Dame, they kind of need to show out here down the stretch. They do have I know Kongs has been talking about this game for a while. They do have a big game next week against Army. But this is also a game where they really got to establish their playoff contention. They cannot let a team like Virginia come in and do what Northern Illinois did. And Virginia is very similar in chemistry and makeup to what Northern Illinois had. So this is kind of a rectify situation. They need to be able to go out there and do what Notre Dame does. Virginia has been decent against the run, but Notre Dame really needs to have Riley Leonard and that Notre Dame defense kind of step up and do what they need to do.
So I'm off this one, but Kong's on the first half. Moose no bet on this one. But that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. We already got four looks from Kong. So still firing away. You said you were conservative today, but you're still firing away, man. I'm liking it. What's the next one you want to take us to?
That's going to be our last side. We're moving to the player props.
Beautiful. Well, go ahead. I'm going to be looking because I'm going to be writing because I know you kind of fire these away too. But go for it, man. Let us know what you're looking at player prop wise today.
All right. So shout out Jalen Milroe last week, cashing the 2+ touchdowns, plus I think it was plus 320 or 340, playing LSU. Today, my plus money prop of the day is going to be Shadur Sanders, 3+ passing touchdowns. It's a plus 130 spot. I'm going to have a full unit on that. I also touched his 4+ passing touchdowns at plus 390. And then I'm going to find you guys a diamond. All right. We already know what LSU has trouble with. LSU has trouble with the running quarterback. They're playing Florida today. DJ Lagway to score 1 touchdown. These are not – I don't want these on my record for official plays because I didn't put full units on all these.
Okay.
But go out and put some money down on this stuff, guys. Has a really good chance of cashing this. Lagway for 1 touchdown, it's a plus 190. Lagway for 2+ touchdowns. Same thing we touched last week with Milroe. Same thing that cashed in the Texas A&M game. Plus 1,400 for 2+ touchdowns. And if you're really feeling sick and disgusting, like I was last night, and want to throw $10 down on 3+ touchdowns, $10 will pay you out a cool $1,000 because this is a plus 10,000 spot for him to have 3+ touchdowns.
Hey, and he could even get that, and LSU could still cover. Because, like I said, I am on LSU here. I did go ahead and lay it with them, but he could get it, and they could still cover. I mean, when LSU wins and covers, they put up a lot of points. But for all the officials, for the props, we got Shadur Sanders 3+ at plus 130, and then 4+ at plus 390, and then you got Notre Dame first half minus 13.5, the first half under in the Tennessee Georgia game, the first half Oregon first half -7.5, and then Oregon full game -13.5, right?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, man. And then, like you said, guys, Lagway is not going to be official, but we've seen LSU in back-to-back weeks give quarterbacks just free range. You saw with A&M with Reed, he put up 3 touchdowns in like 15 minutes, it felt like. And then we saw Milroe with, a couple touchdowns last week again. So why not take a shot with Lagway? Makes sense to me. Man, Kongs, I love it. I know it's not as many bets as usual, but you still got more bets than everyone else other than Moose. So still a clip, in my opinion, man. Any last words for the chat before we keep this thing rolling?
Absolutely. We have a 2-unit parlay.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. I knew it. See, it felt like something was missing. Hit me with it.
Yeah. All right. So 2-unit parlay this week. We're up crazy amounts of units on this play all year. 2-unit parlay. Oregon -13.5 is the first leg of the parlay. Second leg, Tennessee, Georgia, first half under 24. Then we have some juice reducers on this parlay just to touch it up a little bit. Clemson first half money line and Texas first half money line. That's plus 646 for the 2 units, and that's how we get you paid today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Jeff Slaughter. Shout out Cab, Moose, Wine Time, Stacks. Love you guys, man. Love doing this thing. It's been a crazy successful year. Appreciate you having me on. Everybody touch that like button. Let's go get some fucking money today. Put your bets in, kick back, coffees, a little bit of soda on the side. Get paid today, man. That's what we do. Come back, see us next week. We'll be here again. Love you guys. Shout out to the chat. Let's get paid.
Hell yeah, Kong. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Kong, killing it this year. Like he said, up, several units, tons on the 2-unit parlay because he's cashed it 5 times, which is insane. It's just insane to even think about it, insane to even say. But now, then there were 2, me and my guy Moose. I want my guy Moose to hit his best bets. I'm just going to tell you guys mine, and then I'll touch on them after Moose hits his. I took Clemson first half. I wanted to say it just because, 1, Kong just said it, 2, because the game starts in 30 minutes. I'm on Clemson first half. I got -6.5 for Clemson. I'm on Tennessee first half. I got +6 or +6.5 for Tennessee. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there with you guys. And then I've said it a couple times. LSU, I laid it. I got LSU -3.5. Those are the 3 official bets I've got right now. Several things I'll probably add, but that's where I'm at right now. But Moose, let's get into it, man. What's something you want to talk about we haven't hit on?
Let's go to the game that I thought Kongs was gonna bring up because one of the things that I do earlier in the week is I like to see kind of what the cappers that come on the show, what their action is, and mainly it's obviously Cab, Wine Time, and Kongs because those are some of the bigger ones. I don't really see too many of Guns picks. I think he does more of his on his show. I don't see too many of them posted, but I can ask him later. But let's go to Texas, Arkansas.
Texas, Arkansas. Okay, yeah. I'm excited to talk about this one too. 12.5 for me is probably too many points for Texas, but I don't know if I'm running to the window to bet this one. What's your thoughts? Let me know.
All right. First off, I would not bet the Arkansas side at under 14. I got in earlier in the week. If you are on my Moose Dive, if you are checking it out, you would have seen that I had Arkansas +14. I would not endorse the under 14 as nearly as much as the 2 touchdown side. But I am on Arkansas. This is an interesting spot for me. When I was doing my research, one of the things that I looked at was I looked at some of the local reports that are coming out of Texas. And one of the things that some of the reporters are talking about is how lucky and fortunate Texas has been to face some of the teams that they have faced. They faced Florida's 3rd-string quarterback. They faced Diego Pavia when he was a little bit more hobbled. And when they faced a team that was at full strength in Georgia, they got rocked. So you're also talking about a spot where Sarkisian in his first SEC road game went to Arkansas, went to Fayetteville as a favorite, and Razorbacks took him. And I'm seeing something very similar here. This is a unique rivalry. Texas may not have the same hostility that you hear from the Arkansas fans as the Arkansas fans have towards Texas. but Razorback fans definitely don't like the Longhorns. I see this as kind of a closer game. I do think Texas wins here. I did sprinkle the money line just because anytime I bet a dog, you got to sprinkle the money line just because if you're on them side, you may as well take them as a little money line sprinkle. But I got to the window. The 14 was the number I really had to have. As soon as that left, I would not really endorse it as much, but I would still say I would like Arkansas here. Taylor Green is cleared to play. He will be back. That is a big thing. Jaquindon Jackson is still questionable. I have still not heard any word on him. If anybody in the chat has heard anything on Jackson, that just makes this play even better. The fact that the line has gone down makes me think he might be playing, but I'd be surprised if he is. I think he might be done for the season and might opt out for the rest of the year and go to the portal, or he just is ready for the draft. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. He's more than likely getting ready for the NFL draft. So right. I like Arkansas here. I think that that's the side if you have 2 touchdowns. If you're not, I kind of like what Kongs is talking about with the money line there, or a parlay piece on Texas, but give me Arkansas plus 14, and I did sprinkle the money line at plus 430.
Our guy Melvin on the same side as you. Shout out to you, Melvin. He's at Arkansas on the over. Thomas also on Arkansas. Ron Lofton to ride with me on Clemson. Love to hear it, Ron. Let's get paid, man. Gravy Bet's still rocking with us in the chat, man. Speaking of rocking with us, we still got over 200 people rocking with us, man. So shout out to you guys. Yeah. Thank you. We're going to keep Moose rolling here through these best bets so we can get them out before 11 because, 11's when kickoff. So we got to clean this thing up here pretty quick, Moose. What's the next one?
You know what? Let's go to the game that you got to bet in. Let's go to Clemson and Pitt.
All right, but don't tell me anything about it unless
I'm not. Don't worry.
All right.
So this is actually probably my favorite cap that I did this week. This was a very deep dive. I mean, I went into the Mariana Trench. One of those was right. But I went deep on it. And one of the things that I came out was when Dabo had his little press conference, one of the things he was talking about was the physicality of Pittsburgh and that Clemson needs to be as physical as they are. Pitt at home has been significantly better on defense than they are on the road. The Pitt offense has been better on the road than they have been at home. I think that Clemson is going to show up. They're going to absolutely be giving it to Pittsburgh here. I don't really trust them as a side as much as you do, Cab, because Pitt at home has been a little bit better in terms of holding opponents down. And if you have them as a dog, that obviously if you're in a low-scoring game, the dog is a little bit more appealing. But one of the things that really was interesting to me was when Cade Bell, the offensive coordinator for Pitt, came out and was talking about Holstein and how he had a hamstring injury in the spring, and they weren't able to make some of those deeper connections on some of the adjustments that would need to be made. And Cab, you're a coach, you know this. If you have a player that you're not able to kind of prime them entirely for a season, when you start having to need to make those adjustments, it can be a little bit more difficult because you don't have that depth of information that you can go to. And you have seen Holstein really start to struggle. One of the things that has happened is they are seeing a lot more of a different type of defense that they saw earlier in the year. Pitt handles the blitz very, very well. And what has happened is you are seeing teams now drop back a little bit more and go into more of press coverage. And that has been something that Holstein has really struggled with. And I think this is a really good under spot. The number has gone down on it. So the line that I took at 54 is no longer there. I think it's dropped a couple of points, which, line movement, always good to be on the right side of it, but never a good indicator of what you're about to see. So I got the under at 54. I would still endorse the under at 52 where it is now. But I do think that this is a slog. This is a Maffa type game. And if you are on Clemson, I think you might be on the right side here. But I think the under is the better call for me. That's what I got to the window with.
Well, I'm in the first half here with Clemson. Moose is on the under. But another game where we have, not the same look, which is, I love it. I love how we bring different action to you guys here for this game, or not just game, for the whole schedule, the whole day, every weekend. Yeah. I love it, man. Speaking of action, there's our guy, Action Jackson, showing up in the chat. He likes the under as well.
Yeah.
See you, Action Jackson. Nasty Nate asked for the best 12 p.m. looks. Well, Clemson first half is my only 12 o'clock look, Nate. So I guess Clemson first half would be my best one. And Moose on the under here. Moose, next one. Let's keep it rolling because, like I said, we got to clean this up and I got to go over everyone's bets.
Yeah,
guys, now is the time. drop questions. If we haven't hit a game that you want to hear or you want to know about a prop, this is the Moose dropping segment. I really want to get a damn graphic for this.
Yeah, it's funny that Jose just has a picture of me sitting on the toilet.
He can just give me that if that's what he wants. We sent Jose a picture of Moose on the toilet just so everybody knows.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Let me quickly, you don't have to bring the graphic up. Let me just quickly go through Florida and LSU because I did have Florida, but in a little bit different way. Florida has been a better first half team than they have a second half team. If you look at just their box scores, and LSU has had some struggles on the road first half. So that's the angle I took, is I did take Florida first half. But the other angle I did take is I did take the full game over. This game has trended over in a big way. It averages 76 points per game in the last 8 series, or in the last 8 games. If you remember some of those games, the throwaway shoe game, all these games that have been just an absolute fireworks. And I think we see something similar here. Florida has struggled against the pass. Just remember what happened earlier in the year against Miami when they faced a fairly similar passing attack. And I think that Nussmeier, he needs to show out. Like, he needs to be able to grade out better here towards the end of the year. He's looking at NFL. He's looking at potential draft picks. I don't think he's going to be a very high draft pick if he's really drafted that high at all, but he needs to turn it around. He has played fairly poorly the last couple of weeks. And shout out Cab. You mentioned this last week that teams got the blueprint on LSU. And that's something that I wrote about in the dive, is that you're now seeing some of these teams kind of attack LSU the last couple of weeks in a different way. One of the specific ways is the fact that they have a mobile quarterback. Lagway and Montrell Johnson are both back, and you're talking about a very dynamic running game. So I got Florida first half +3 with a little money line sprinkle, and I took the full game over 55.5.
I don't hate the over. I think there'll be points either way. And yeah, I hope that script gets broken here. But I'm going to go ahead and I start them. We got some questions coming in that people want you to get. Like I said, we got to clean it up. So Moose, was there another one that we need to hit really quick, or do you want to go ahead and get out the props?
Do you want me to just go through my action quickly here and then I can recap it? Or do you want me just to go through the questions? How would you like to do that?
Hit your action, do your action, and then I'm going to read everybody else's action, and then we'll hit the questions.
All right, I got, what have I not talked about here? I got Syracuse +10. Basically big reason is that Cal has Stanford on deck, and Cal has done very poorly in their games leading up to the game against Stanford. So Cal, I'll take Syracuse. I'll take that. I do think Cal wins, but I think this is going to be a much closer game. Kyle McCord, he needs to make sure he looks better here because there are some question marks coming in. You're seeing teams drop back in coverage a little bit more, especially with Pitt. So I'm on Cal +10. I'm sorry, not Cal. I'm on Syracuse +10 at Cal, even though the road trip is very, very long. But you have seen teams already do that this year. I'm also on West Virginia team total over 28.5, and I'm also on West Virginia money line against Baylor. West Virginia at home. The home team has done very well in this series, so whoever's traveling is the one that has the weaker side. And I am also on a prop. I am on Corey Kiner rushing yards over 82.5. I think that's one of the better spots. He's been able to go over that number quite a bit. And I think that's one of that's the only player prop I have now that the TJ Harden thing did not work out last night. So if we want to get to our Moose droppings, if there's time, I can go over and elaborate on any one of the picks I just gave you.
Beautiful. And speaking of, guys, there's still 200 plus people rocking with us. Give Moose your email and check out his Moose dive. It's absolutely incredible. It's free. All you got to do is give him your email and you can get in-depth analysis of all the games that he breaks down. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Voodoo, I appreciate it, man. He said this show is good, man. We love doing this with you guys. Thank you. We love it. Moose says it all the time. We love doing it with you guys. Let me go ahead and hit these bets everyone gave out today. Since Moose just recapped his. Guns came out, started us off. He's got Marshall ATS. He's got Old Dominion +3 or ATS. He's got SMU ATS. And then he's got Kansas State ATS. Wine Time. He is on the other side of me against LSU. He took Florida. He's got the Gators. He took them earlier in the week. So, he's trusting the swamp, and I get it. He's on Florida. He's also on SMU along with Guns. And then he took Kansas. He's on Kansas +2.5. I know that was one of the questions in there. And another bet he had was the under in the Wisconsin game. I don't know why I wrote that down. Okay. He took Wisconsin ATS and the under in the Wisconsin game. So those are his 5 bets. Stacks came in, brought us 3 stacks plays of the day. He's got Georgia -9.5, Navy +4.5, and then in college basketball, Georgetown +2.5. Shout out to my dude Stacks. And then Kong, as always, unloaded a clip for us today. Oregon first half -7.5, Oregon full game -13.5. The first half under in the Tennessee-Georgia game. Notre Dame first half -13.5. The 2 props he gave out are Shedeur Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns at +130, and then he also took 4+ at +390. The 2-unit parlay of the week: Oregon -13.5, Tennessee Georgia first half under, Clemson first half money line, Texas first half money line, and that comes across at +646. My 3 bets took LSU. I laid it -3.5. I got Clemson first half -6.5, and it's early, so go ahead and get on that one now. And then the last one I got is Tennessee. I took them +6 in the first half. Only 3 official bets for me right now. I will probably have more. I'll post it. College basketball post. Let's get to these last questions. Anyone have questions in there? Drop them right now, because we are about to wrap and get out of here so you guys can get there for kickoff. Thomas wants to know about Colorado, though. You got the hat on. Moose, thoughts, Colorado?
Go Buffs. But this is, no pun intended, Colorado is primed for some kind of upset, but Utah is going in the wrong direction. We already heard Wine Time talk about Utah and what's going on over there with the athletic director and Kyle Whittingham. There is talk about Kyle Whittingham potentially stepping away or being forced to step away, which I think is the absolute wrong decision. The person that should be leaving is much higher up on the totem pole. I wrote about it in my Moose Dive. This is covered in the Moose Dive, so as much as I'm not going to give much of a breakdown here, you can go there. The Colorado home games have traditionally gone over, but you're talking about Utah now having to go back to, I didn't even know this, Zach Wilson's younger brother, Isaac Wilson, at Utah. Didn't even know that, but apparently that's who's now back at quarterback, because Utah has now suffered another season-ending injury to one of their quarterbacks, and their tight end, their big Brant Quaith, is also out for the rest of the year. So Utah is rather decimated, but the thing that Utah can hang their hat on is their defense. Their defense. It's Quaith. I haven't heard. I don't really know off the top of my head. As much as I watch and do college football, I just haven't heard the pronunciation all that much. So I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. You can correct me we can call it Queef. We can just call him Queef. All right, we can just go with that. That sounds good enough. But the Utah defense has been the side that you want to be betting on here, because they have been very, very solid. I wouldn't go an under here. The over would be the only way I could bet Colorado home games, because that has been traditionally the way that those games have gone. For my own sake, go Buffs. I would love to see a conference championship. We are absolutely overachieving this year, but there's something that tells me that we are seeing some kind of letdown here at some point.
And then Action Jackson asked about the Kansas game, but he also said that he didn't realize we already covered it, so he's going to go back. But did you want to say anything on it?
BYU at home at night. Razor's comment of just being at home at BYU. That's kind of the way that I would look at it. Is BYU at home at night is just the way to go, because once the Mormons are out of church, they're ready to watch some football. So that's the way I would look there. Is I'd only be on BYU. Best of luck to anybody that's on Kansas. Best of luck to Wine Time. But that's a BYU spot to me.
Hey, I'll put this one on you. Last question.
I threw it out there. I did throw it out there already. Thanks, Linda, for checking in. But I did say the first half under in the Georgia-Tennessee is probably my favorite bet. But I don't really have favorite bets. If I bet it, I love it. And that's just how I am. I don't really look at something and go, this is my max unit parlay bet of the week. Shout out to Kongs and his, but I don't go that way. I don't operate. I also think South Carolina is an absolute outstanding spot if you are comfortable laying double digits. I am not that comfortable laying double digits, but South Carolina also looks like a great bet. But I don't pull triggers on double digit favorites.
Well, here's something to end on also, because like I said, this is a best bet show, not just a college football show. Kong said one of his biggest bets of the year, Marcus McGee -135 on the UFC card tonight. So beautiful, man. We still got a ton of people in here in the chat rocking with us. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do. But I'm sure you did. Share the video if you can. Subscribe to Pub Sports Radio if you haven't. Shout out to all our new legal books that sponsor us or that are our partners here at Pub Sports Radio. We love having you. Anywhere you go, check out what legal book you have around you and use Pub Sports Radio as a promo code. It's that simple. Get some free money. I use it myself, so it's that easy. Moose, you got any last words for the chat?
Just to kind of go over, as I kind of glossed through the LSU Florida game, I think it's very interesting when you look at what Napier was talking about this week. The motto for Florida right now is play like you're on a one-day contract. And I think that's very ironic considering that Florida might be terminating Napier's contract at the end of the year. So I thought that was an interesting point that Napier was doing, whereas Brian Kelly decided to go Officer Barbrady on everybody and say, nothing to see here, move along, and just kind of glossed over the fact that his team has really been torched recently. I thought those were kind of two interesting little tidbits that I uncovered in the deep dive on that. So I just wanted to go over there. But you know what? As much as he wants to not have people look at anything, we want you watching this show. And go ahead and rewatch. There's plenty of plays that we talked about. So if you came in late, rewatch it. Drop some comments. Let us know what you're thinking. I mean, look, I've had my fair share of hate thrown at me. I get my fair share of hate thrown at me by the students that I teach, and I have thick skin. I can take it. But I would love to have more engagement here with people that are watching the show, dropping their plays in the comments or sharing the video out, whatever it can be, because this is such a fun time. And the more people we have in the community, the more knowledge that is out there, the more fun that we can have, because it ain't fun if the homies ain't got none. So shout out to everybody out there. And I really appreciate what people are doing today in the chat, specifically on the Oregon-Wisconsin game.
Hey, that's a perfect way to end this, guys. Comment, not just in the live comments. After the show, leave your bets. Leave your bets down there. I will get to them, and I will comment back to you. It helps us get in the algorithm. It helps share it, like Moose said. Thank you guys in the chat. We love you guys. Johnny K, picks from Dave, Core, Justin, Gravy Bets, my dude Ron Lofton. Man, Stacks coming up here. Brian Smith, Nasty Nate, Nunya. I just want to keep going because I want to say everyone, but everybody that's been here, thank you. Everybody that's listening that's not in the chat, maybe think about joining in the chat. Nunya's showing he's been a member for 24 months, man. Grab that membership. Guys, if you don't have a membership, grab it if you support the channel, because we don't sell our picks here. We just give them to you for free. We tell you what we're betting and why. So if you want to show a little love, hit the join button in the description of the video. Get a membership. Nunya dropping Oregon team total over 31.5. Georgia moneyline plus 149, 2 units. Thanks, Daby, Moose, Kongs, Justin, Wine Time, Jose, Big Show, everybody at Pub Sports Radio, man. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being here. We love doing it. We will see you guys next week. Let's get paid.